So this is lesson 16, mod 7, lesson 16. And the title for this lesson is David, a Culture of Honor in Relationships. So the key principle for this lesson is found in Galatians 5, 22 and 23. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. You say, okay, what's so great about it? No, it's the next part that is the key to this lesson. Against such things there is no law. I want that to sink in. God will never say, Jewel, you've been just entirely too kind to your husband, too patient. So against these things, listen, God will never say you took my love too far in showing love, grace, mercy. Let that sink in. God will never say you've taken it too far. Okay? So now as we've gotten much healthier, because this is second year now, we've gone through first year, we want to look more closely at how to make ministry relationships healthier. David is the best and worst example of honor when it comes to people he was over or people who were under him. And over the next few weeks, we're going to look at a series of events in David's life. And we're going to see he was a poster child of how to do it well and not so well. Okay? It was said of David prophetically in 1 Samuel 13, verse 14, that David was a man after God's own heart. Have you ever heard that verse before? David was a man after God's own heart. Let me ask you a question. Does that mean he had the same heart as God, or he was pursuing the same type of heart? Because see, it says he was a man after God's heart. He was chasing after it. He wasn't going to give up until he had that same heart that God had. Now, we sometimes miss that the grace and patience and kindness, the respect that David expressed towards those that he was under, that gets our applause. When we look at how he dealt with King Saul, it's like, wow, that's amazing. But this same heart is expressed towards ungodly people who were under his authority. And we'll read about some of these stories over the next few weeks. And you say, man, he must have missed God on that. Why would he treat them that graciously? Why would he be that merciful? Man, doesn't he realize they're trying to take his kingdom? Now, this will not be a complete look at all that was surrounding David's relationships, but it will give us a quick look into his world. And we will be looking deeper into David's life and ministry over about the next, month and a half. So, Saul lied. Saul lied to, cheated, set up, and even attempted murder on multiple occasions towards David. So keep in mind, you think you got a bad boss? You think the person you work for in ministry is really bad? Well, when facing difficult times, it is really important to keep some things in mind. You need to keep some things in your mind about both yourself and the other people that you're interacting with. So, be aware if there is a spirit of offense in you or in that other person. Because offense will cloud every interaction. You can't turn it off and on. You can repent of it, you can renounce it, but you don't just turn it off and on. If you don't deal with it, that spirit of offense will impact every interaction between you and that other person, and probably every interaction between you and anyone else if you happen to have the spirit of offense. If they do, it will impact everyone that is in their life. Also be aware of insecurities. Again, be aware of your own insecurities, but also be aware of the insecurities in leaders or those who are under you if you're the one in leadership. Those insecurities can be overwhelming to a relationship. Also, pay attention, really hear what is going on with friends' counsel. Friends can counsel you about a situation you're in, but it just might be them showing sympathy for you. They just like you. They don't know the other person. Or it could be beneficial to them. If that other person gets fired and you get their job, you're going to throw better parties, right? You're going to go from burgers to shrimp. So there can be hidden agendas, personal benefit. Or it could be animosity they have towards you or towards the other person. So there's lots of things that you need to pay attention. Here's another one that you need to pay attention of. Be very wary of anyone who does what we call throws the God card. But God said, or, thus saith the Lord. And a lot of times what comes after that is not after the heart of God at all. Okay? So be aware of throwing the God card. They could be possibly just misreading what's happening, but again, it could be from other agenda that they are throwing that God card. Also, be aware of fatigue, both in yourself and in the other person. If you're working long hours, if you're under deadlines, fatigue can physically, emotionally, and spiritually drain you. That will impact the relationship. So what we're going to look at tonight, we're going to do 2 case studies. One is with David and how he interacted with King Saul, and the other is David and how he interacted with his son Absalom.